Hello, I'm Ritz Blues, and I'm going to be doing an 80% speed run of the recent release of Neversong. Neversong is it's a tale of loss and hope, dealing with like growing up and also reconciling with your childhood. Um, it's really a fairly beautiful game, played casually and not too terribly hard. Um, So I do recommend playing it if you haven't before. The 80% category does involve quite a bit of speed tech, which makes it surprisingly fun. The game feels fairly janky when you first pick it up, but once you learn like how the physics works in the game, there's actually quite a few things you can do to go fast. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this first file here. Um, Time starts when I start the file, and time ends as soon as I play the final song. So, 3, 2, 1, go. I should point out that the cutscenes in this game are not skippable, but they're not particularly plentiful or long.
Once upon a time, there was a boy, an orphan without a single toy. His name was Pete. His world was grey, until he found a friend one day. It was no normal friend he'd found. She was but the prettiest girl in town. From that day on, the summer bore adventures every single morn. Her name was Wren, so young and gay. She even had a small piano she'd play. From sharps and flats to middle C, she taught Pete to play and read. But on one fateful evening they went looking for some place to play. Pete and Wren stumbled through a door onto an abandoned asylum floor. And from the shadows, a face of white snatched poor Wren out of sight. Pete was not like Wren at all. He was timid, scared, and small. And this was his last farewell, for Pete into a coma fell.
Alright, so at the start of the game, we finally gain control of our main character, Pete. Pete doesn't really have much in the way of abilities to start with. We can jump, and we can interact with objects. Jumping on elevators twice activates them, and then additional times makes them bounce down faster. So we're going to open these doors, or interact with them in a series, to spell out the word smile. And there's our friend Dr. Smile. He is the antagonist of the game, you could say. He has kidnapped Wren, and it's up to us to get her back. Now that we're done with the prologue, the game will pick up fairly quickly. At the beginning of the game, you can enter 4 different songs into Wren's piano and unlock the 4 secret doors in her room, and grab the 4 power-ups that you need to complete the game. We can't play the final song though. So we get our Gumboisa grips, the Bootybrella, the Slugger Bat, and the Slugboard. And pretty much all of those are going to have some uses for going fast. Already we have the ability to use the slug board and the umbrella to gain a lot of speed. So we're going to use it to try and get through town as far as we can. Not the fastest, but... Okay. So now we're out of Redwind Village. If you do that right, you can get past the boxes on your first try and not have to deal with pretty much any of the town. So we skip the first song that we need to get the bat and to get past those boxes. We're going to skip the first dungeon as well. And that's located right here. Our friend Simeon is stuck in the entrance, and he has hyperinflammatory hyperinflatory disorder. He inflates. So we're gonna do what any good friend would do and ignore his plight and move on to the second dungeon before coming back to fix the problem later. So if we get through this loading screen fast enough, we can make our way all the way over here, which is the entrance to the next area, and skip the first area. You can kill all 4 of these things to gain access to the next area. So that wall will drop down. We'll be able to use the umbrella to boost up the wall instead of swinging on the Gumboisa balls. We can also use the elevator to send this elevator up early, which will be useful for making our way back up and get to Gumboisa very quickly. Like so. Alright, and that's how we get the glow glitch, unfortunately. So now the game will glow for pretty much the rest of the game. If you get hit as you transition, the game will keep the damage glow for pretty much the entire rest of the game. Like so. Alright, so now in this next arena we're going to make our way over to Pete and Ren's treehouse, but we got to kill all of these guys first, which is a little bit harder to do since everything's kind of washed out with all the extra light. Alright, but we did that fairly well. We're going to do a little boost here, a sequence break to get the first adult in the cage. I know that sounds weird, but that's actually something we want to do. So... there we go. Not the fastest way to do it, but it skips us needing to blow this up with a bomb. Saves us a little time. So now we got the box of nails that Gumboisa wanted us to get, and that will allow us to cut the X's above the Gumboisa balls that have bombs on them, or that have X's above them. We chop those down, it'll start the timer on the fuses. Okay. We're gonna float past this cutscene here. Get the second adult in the cage there. And then we're gonna make our way past these guys. And activate another bomb here. Push it over here and hope that it's not a dud. We'll wait over here by Gum Toddler. Hello, Gum Toddler. And then we're going to use a skateboard boost off the box here to make it the first cycle across here. There we go. And now we've got the bomb in place for the next block. Again, cross your fingers, it's not a dud. Good. Alright, so now we can get to the boss fairly quickly. The monster is now awake. another skateboard boost here. And then we'll just make our way right here. Trigger a cutscene with Dr. Smile.
It was him again, that Dr. Smile, singing softly a lullaby. Sleep quiet, my precious babe. Don't let your eyelids separate. Singing is against the rules. Singing is for truth.
Alright, because we hit all 3 of the cages with the adults in them, it wakes up Mr. Toyne, John's father. And because we have the umbrella, it makes this fight fairly trivial. Every time he could knock us up in the air, we can use the umbrella to float and catch onto one of the Gamboisa balls and float up and just do it again. It makes this fight actually really easy. As long as you can hit that ball before it disappears, typically you can get him to skip any long invulnerability phases he would normally have. Alright, and that's it. The boss is dead. We want to try to avoid the ball if we can. So sometimes when the boss dies, the ball becomes invisible and does not despawn, and you can get caught on it. Which is why I'm being careful to stay to the left. Next we want to mash our way through that, and we're going to kill ourselves on this enemy right here, and warp our way back to the entrance of the dungeon. There we go. And now, we make our way back to the second dungeon, and we can go help our friend Simeon.
Pete, check it out, in the tree. Is that Simeon's sewing needle?
So now we got Simeon's sewing needle. There we go, we got 2 good hits in. So now we can wait for him to float down just a little bit. Okay, and that just leaves this one to kill. Pretty decent kill speed there. Alright. So now we can just make our way over to the entrance where Simeon is. We'll let him deflate with his needle here. And then if we do this right, we can skip some cutscenes and get right to destroying the enemies.
Help!
There we go. That triggers the cutscene now, but it doesn't really save any time, but it's kind of funny to do that. We're going to get rid of this guy. If we're careful, we can get that lever on the first or second try and save a little time here. Almost, not quite. We'll give it one more go. Not quite. There we go. So now we don't have to double back here. We can solve that puzzle. Instead of having to climb the top route out, we can just take the bottom route. There we go. Lower this elevator down. So we need to go collect our friend Simeon, who's inflated once again into a ball. Say hello to Dr. Smile. If we do it right, we can skip the cutscene on the way over, and I know there's a way we can skip it on the way back. I just haven't been able to pull it off yet. We just got to get enough speed with Simeon to get him over this hill. Unfortunately, if you get caught, you get caught. So we have another cutscene to watch.
That thing had taken Ren. Totally mad. I'm just a child. But his wrinkling face only smiled. I'm starving, and I need to eat. So I snatched your pal. The perfect treat. A snack like that is said to make your wrinkling skin look younger.
Alright, so now we got our buddy Simeon across the bridge. Cutscene's over. So we're going to push Simeon through 3 different piles of nasty stuff. Some sand. Some sand, some sludge, and some spider eggs. But anytime he gets wet from the sewage, it'll wash the stuff off. So we had to hit that lever, and we had to lower this elevator here. We're going to have to lower some other elevators further ahead. But here's the sludge.
You met your peach fuzzer story. You owe me a list of favors.
Bounce on the elevator twice to activate it. There we go. So that'll open up the back of the bus so we can get Simeon through it. But before we do, we're going to go pop this real quick. By lowering the elevator, we can come over here to Simeon, and by the time we get to him, the elevator will reach the bottom. We'll save a little time there. We don't have to wait for it and just keep on going. Just smack any spiders that get in the way and ignore any that don't. Break the box and continue on our merry way. So here we want to actually lower the elevator. Pop in over here. And while Simeon's on his way down, we'll take this other elevator. Again, jumping on it makes it go faster. Alright, so that should be the last lever we need to hit right here. Now we can just hop through here, use the umbrella boost to get up here faster. Hi, Dr. Smile. And now Simeon's covered in spider eggs. Hooray. Poor guy. Oops. There we go. Tank our way through that damage. 1 heart, we'll manage. Alright. So all 3 of those smells together wake up Simeon's mom, Mrs. Richardson, who promptly eats him. Hi, buddy. Thank you. Not in just a moment. Just set it down. Thank you. Just a second. Huh? Okay, yeah, you can take that upstairs. Love you, buddy. Alright, so Mrs. Richardson is the worst source of RNG in the game. This particular attack takes a very long time to get through, and the more she uses it, the more time we lose. Ideally, she only uses 1 attack per round and then immediately goes to ramming into the ground, but sometimes she can do as many as 4 attacks before doing it, which is unfortunate. There. Hopefully she smashes the ground this time. Yep, good. Last run I did, she did 4 attacks this part, so. Each time the boss screams, you get 1 heart back. Nice. Pretty good. Come on, smash the ground, smash the ground. Do it. Yes! Alright. Okay, so killing the boss, we get our health back. We get a bunch of these little stars, which are fine. We collect 100 of them, we'll get an extra heart container, which we don't really need. Okay, so that unlocks a new song. Mark there. So now we'll just die on these guys to death warp back out of here. Okay. And now we can make our way back out of here to Redfield, or Redwind Field, and back to the village. So we need to make a quick little detour to pick up one more song, and then we can move on to the third area.
And now crazy grown-ups? What's next?
So there's Dr. Smile. Going to the right, so obviously we go to the left. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we got that song. We need that to finish the game. So now we're going to make our way over to Woody Bum Marsh. Where we'll greet Dr. Smile again. Okay. Skateboard allows us to get over here, although we could do this immediately if we wanted. A little bit of time lost there because I dropped the umbrella. So here's the third boss. This is Granny, but unfortunately she's not feeling too good, so we can't really fight her right now. We gotta get her to cough up whatever's stuck in her throat. So now we're gonna do another little skip here. Normally you're supposed to go down the bottom route. However,
Come up.
quit doing that. No, no. No. Why are we doing this? There we go. We talked to Preston, and he tells us about his crime of stealing sugar blasters, but he refuses to tell us where he hid them. For fear of, I don't know, going to prison or something. Oh boy. Pull. Not the fastest fight, but okay. Alright. We need to get to that water tower, and unfortunately there's a couple puzzles we have to solve before we can do that. Gotta get that gate lowered. Pop over here. Doggone it, every time I do this level, I cut that stupid X. Every time. Well, that's about 15 seconds lost. Anyway. Shoot, even more, because I missed it. There we go. Oh no! Come on! Really? I had such a good pace. Oh well, it happens. Still, not the worst thing that can happen in a run of this. There we go. So we grab the key, and then we warp back by quitting save and quit. Will get us back to the entrance of Booty Bum Marsh. So we don't have to backtrack the slow way, because there's really not a whole lot of like maneuverability tools in the midsection over where Granny is. So we make our way over here. And we head over towards Redwood Village. Inside of here, we're in the Booty Bum Clubhouse, so we need to
August, dear, introspectively, and if
read Simeon's diary.
Hello.
No letters here for Pete.
Oh, what?
Oops, we don't want
I've
Steve.
got Never's name.
Did it wrong.
Oh,
Colin,
wow.
James,
What?
Coy. There we go. Make our way back out. And it turns out that Preston decided to hide the sugar blasters over here about a week or so ago underneath this well by these 3 waterfalls. So we're gonna pick these up, have Bird pick those up. Make our way back to the marsh. Alright, so now we can go inside the power company here. We'll talk to Skunky.
Look at it. Anyways, my
Mash through that. Hit the lever to start the power, and now Granny will cough up whatever it is she's got. Oh, it's the next song. Great. So all those shenanigans we had earlier cost pretty much all the time I saved in Spiderian Overture, but that's okay. Alright, so now we're going to make our way to the last area of the game, which is the Black Fork Lullaby. Hey, Shortchange Hero. Thanks for the host. Alright, there we go. So it takes care of that. If you lose the fight in this arena, then things can get dicey because we pretty much ran away from the last boss fight. There we go. That opens up the gate to the final dungeon, Black Fork Asylum. Hope you're doing well this evening, Shortchange. Okay. So Black Fork Asylum is normally one of the hardest dungeons in the game. There's multiple puzzles you have to solve, lots of collect the item puzzles. And on top of that, there's tons of psychos wielding knives, as well as nasty laser puzzles. It's just not a fun part of the game. It's probably the hardest part of the game casually, and also contains, in my opinion, the worst puzzle in the game with the laser puzzle. It is worth playing through. I do recommend it, but a big part of what I like about the any percent speedrun is we don't have to do any of that stuff. All we do is come over here and enter in the password PETERSMILE, and it opens up the gate to the final boss.
Dr. Smile smiled a smile wider than a mile. He drooled a hungry discharge. His pupils began to enlarge. Eat. You made it to my feast. My children and I now have much to eat. That silly wren is just a doll. You're just in time for nightfall. See, you are just the appetizer. Our children will ravage Red Wind after, and when we're done, we'll look and feel innocent, just like our gold.
Get in my belly! So Dr. Smile has 5 phases like all the other bosses. He's got a random assortment of attacks. In the first round he'll only use the knife attack. And he'll attack twice. Oh, we have a song glitch. Hooray. Well, I guess the music's over. Oh, I guess I skipped the audio trigger. Anyway, no more boss music. If we land on that first step, we can pretty much go directly to him and hit him right away. Phases 2 and 3, he'll almost always use these little spike sets here, which is good because these are kind of fast attacks. We want to see him do this as much as possible, because he can basically tear through them fairly quickly. He'll do 3 attacks before the snap on the second round, so we don't need to worry about that attack other than dodging it. Here comes the snap. We float over here and do another whack. There we go. Four attacks before the snap. Sense a pattern forming. We like to see levers, we don't like to see knives. I will take knives on the third attack though. And then this attack, whatever it is, I'll ignore. And then we wait for the snap. Float, spam. Okay. Now at this part, you'll always use the laser first. So we just stand right here. And then he'll do 5 attacks. We'll skip the first 4. Unfortunately, he did a lever and I didn't want him to. That's 3 attacks. We want to deal with this attack, whatever it is. Good. Alright, and then this next attack we'll ignore. Final round, his attacks could be pretty much any of the ones he's used before. Although he often starts with the laser. Hopefully that's the only laser we see. Two. Three. Four. Five. And the snap. Final hit, he flips it again, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to gather the last song, and it's not time yet until we play the last song.
The final note sang loud and true, and reminded me of you. I'm sorry, Ren. I missed your call. I'm sorry that I wasn't there at all.
$35.41, new PB.
Your song reminded me of when we were kids. Just me and Ren. And in this coma, high up above, my one true love whispers.
Wake up.
So that's Neversong, 80%, and hopefully you enjoyed that. I look forward to running this a bit more in the future. I'll see if we can get this down even faster. Current world record is actually not posted on speedrun.com, but it is by a runner known as Download. He currently has a record of 33:05, which is very impressive. So hopefully at some point I can get a little closer to that. But anyway, that's the run. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.